Okay, welcome back. So now in week 8, we switch perspectives. We leave Ikram in her tea shop, and now we move to see how this all looks to Karim, who's the regional manager of Q Enterprises, the distributor of Tere Tata. Karim is the sole distributor of this tea in the region. He makes his weekly order in truckloads from the tea factory. So much bigger than the boxes that Ikram orders from him. He orders truckloads from the tea factory. His goal is also to sell as much tea as possible and keep inventory costs low. He usually sells 4 truckloads of Tere Tata per week to all of the different stores, including Ikram's, and keeps about 12 truckloads in his warehouse as inventory. This week, Karim is feeling frustrated. 4 weeks ago, orders started rising for Tere Tata. At first, he filled the larger orders easily from his own inventory. He also raised his order from the tea factory just to be safe. But then orders started rising a lot, to 3 or 4 times the usual level, something very unusual. His inventory was dropping fast. 2 weeks ago, Karim saw an article about the Gnawa band's video. Okay, that explains it. But what if demand for the tea goes even higher and he sells out of his inventory? So Karim's trying to think ahead. His inventory is now at 0. He must decide whether to A. Order the usual 4 truckloads from the tea factory, order 12 truckloads, order 16 truckloads, order 20 truckloads. So he's trying to get ahead of the problem. So what do you think Karim should do in this situation? What would you do? Okay, imagine that you're really trying to anticipate what's going to come and you're trying to avoid getting stuck with no tea. So you order 20 truckloads. What happens next? Okay, week 9. This week, Karim receives only 6 truckloads from the factory. He can't get anyone on the phone. Maybe they're busy raising production. His own backlogs are growing. He already has IOUs worth 29 truckloads to his retailers. His frustration is growing. He can't fill these orders fast enough from all of these stores, including Ikram's store. So he's trying to get ahead of the problem again. So this week he orders 40 truckloads from the factory. So now you see the problem that Ikram's having is even bigger from the perspective of Karim, because remember, he has lots of different stores that he's trying to service. His retailers are starting to write him frustrated notes. Hey, why isn't there any of this tea anymore? And Karim is getting angry. Like Ikram, he's getting frustrated. How could the tea factory have done this to me? How can I ever keep up? He swears he will never get caught in this situation again. So he orders 60 truckloads. He's like, I'm going to wipe out all of this backlog. I'm going to get everyone the tea that they're ordering from me and wake up the people at the tea factory. So now we're in weeks 13, 15. Demand continues to outstrip Karim's supply. He has all of these IOUs. He can't even satisfy from week to week the demand for the tea. He finally starts receiving larger shipments from the factory in weeks 14 and 15. Interestingly, during these 2 weeks, new orders from retailers, from shops like Ikram's, the new orders start to drop. But that's a good thing right now because he's trying to get his backlog from negative 49 back to 0. So he's like, okay, let's take a break from all of these orders, and I can start giving all the tea to the IOUs. In the next week, finally gets almost all the tea he ordered weeks ago from the factory, 55 truckloads. He's now finally relieved. But then he goes to speak to his colleague in the orders office, who is collecting all the orders from all the tea shops. On each order, he sees the same number, 0, 0, 0. What's wrong with these people? 4 weeks ago, they were screaming for more tea. Now they don't want any. Young people are just so capricious today. Now, just before the trucker leaves for the tea factory, Karim runs over. No. He crosses out his order, 0 truckloads. And the next week, 60 more truckloads of Tere Tata arrives from the factory for Karim. But the stores, including Ikram's, are all asking for 0 truckloads. So Karim asked the tea factory for 0. Now you see he has way more tea than he needs, 109. And the same thing happens the week after. And now unsold tea is starting to pile up in Karim's warehouse. In the next video, we're going to see what is happening at Tere Tata.